Só rolê bom, ela chega e desencana com passo bem sou, passo bem sou, passo bem sou, na festa do fim de semana.
Тишины послушайте волю, по тропинке в лесе густой, поболтать с березкой вдоволь про него и про любовь.
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to be.
Sigma, Sigma boy, Sigma boy, Sigma boy.
Round one. What the hell? What the?
Okay, Simon says get to heat say. I can do that. Okay, good luck. Oh, nice!
Oh, I stepped on her head. Oh my god. Yo, that's my
Nice, guys. Okay.
Watch this though. Watch this. Can I show you?
Okay, alright, ready.
Nice.
Okay, Simon says make it to the gray thing behind you, that ledge, that secret room. Follow heat say. It's not possible.
Yeah, you can. It's possible to bomb jump.
Bomb jump to heat say.
Oh. Oh. Well. Okay. Okay.
Okay, if I do it, then I win. Okay, Simon says get to heat say.
Choose your favorite Sonic 3.
How long would you keep?
I need you now more than ever. Would you put my heart back together? I searched the world to my head just to find out your ways better. Oh, oh, your ways better. Oh, oh, your ways better. Oh, Lord, your ways better. Jesus, your ways better. Lord, I am so thankful for the ways that you bless me. Everything you say, making waves like a jet ski. You love every part of me, even when I was messy.
Give me that attack.
How to get a flying cloud in Rookie?
Who is my real brother?
I'm the real brother.
Don't believe what he says.
Brother, help me. He's an evil copy of me.
I'm the real one.
You are lying. Stop lying.
Be quiet and now you'll be in prison forever.
Oh my god, I can't escape.
Guys!
The gun shot at his face as soon as he turned the corner, but somehow the soldier remained standing, not even realizing he was hit. Feeling lightheaded, he noticed he was missing a front tooth. After an emergency x-ray, the doctors found the bullet had hit just below his nose, but it hit the tooth first, which absorbed the bullet's energy, causing it to be ejected from his gums. It had slowed the bullet down enough that it was only able to lodge itself into the soft tissues. The bullet was removed and he had no permanent damage. The gun shot at his face. When you pick your nose, your fingernail scratches the delicate skin inside. Now, this lining is full of tiny blood vessels, which can easily get damaged. If you keep picking, you can make small cuts that don't heal properly. And over time, these cuts can weaken the wall between your nostrils. If the damage gets bad enough, it can create a hole, and this hole can make it hard to breathe and can cause nosebleeds, sometimes requiring a surgery. When you If you lose a piece of your fingertip and you're a small child, a scab will begin to form over the injury. Underneath, special cells begin to gather at the wound site, and in some rare instances, these cells replicate to rebuild the bone, skin, and nail, regenerating the lost fingertip. It may be slightly different in shape or size, but it should still be fully functional. The tiny skeleton of a baby was discovered between the corpse's legs, as if she had given birth in the coffin. Now, for centuries, people thought it was a sign of witchcraft, that the woman had returned from the dead to deliver the baby. But this can actually happen when gases build up inside the pregnant body as it starts to rot. It can create enough pressure to push the baby out of the womb and is known as a coffin birth. If your brakes suddenly stop working, grab the steering wheel with one hand and carefully start to use your emergency brake with the other. Now make sure not to pull it too hard, or it could make the car skid out of control. If that doesn't work, try scraping the car against a guardrail to create friction and slow it down. And if you're for sure headed for a crash, try to hit something soft like bushes to lessen the impact. She gagged as she swallowed the fork, the edges tearing at her throat on the way down. The woman had a condition causing an uncontrollable urge to eat things that aren't food. After an x-ray, doctors rushed her into surgery to remove the utensils one by one. They had to be careful. A single wrong move and the metal could rupture her stomach. After hours of surgery, the doctors successfully took out all 78 pieces of cutlery. She gagged as she swallowed. If you cut off a dead person's finger, you might think you could use it to unlock their phone, but the sensor actually checks for the body's natural electricity, and this stops when a person dies, making the finger useless. Now, if you tried to use the corpse's face to unlock it, the sensor would look for slight movements to make sure it's a real living person, but it would quickly notice that they're dead and you'd still be locked out. If you cut off a dead person's finger, when a dentist gives you a shot, the needle can sometimes bend and snap during the injection. If this happens, the broken piece might stay lodged in the soft tissues of your mouth. Over time, the tissue around it might swell or become infected if the piece isn't retrieved. To remove it, dentists can use imaging tools and a small surgical procedure to carefully extract the needle. When a dentist gives They were placed on the soles of the agent's boots, secured with a sturdy strap. The overshoes disguised their footprints, making it appear as if they were someone else. Some soles mimicked the prints of civilians, or even animals like bears. When they were worn backwards, it reversed the direction of their steps. This made it impossible for enemies to identify their footprints and follow their trail. They were placed on the sole. The logs in the center of the tower began to groan, leaning sharply under the enormous weight. Then, the wires holding the structure together snapped, sending the entire tower crashing down. Students were hard at work building it for their school's cherished celebration when disaster struck. Trapped beneath 5,000 logs, many were unable to escape. Rescuers raced to save them, but tragically, 12 students lost their lives. The logs in the child was put in a wicker basket and hoisted up to the ceiling as punishment, and they had to spend the rest of the lesson hanging above the classroom. Now, this was meant to humiliate them and to scare the other children into behaving. Sometimes the teacher would even push it, making it sway back and forth as extra punishment. But the basket was small, and if it moved too much, the child could easily fall out. The child was put in a wicker basket and hoisted up. He picked up the penguin, which was covered in sticky black oil, and took it home to clean it. Over the next few days, he fed it fish and nursed it back to health. But when he went to set it free, the penguin followed him home. Even after it finally left, it returned a few months later. And for the next 8 years, it swam 5,000 miles every summer just to visit his human friend. It stings the cockroach's brain, shutting down its ability to escape. The helpless cockroach follows the wasp like a mindless zombie, following it to its burrow where it lays an egg on its body. Over time, the egg hatches into larva, which feeds on the cockroach from the inside out. It's still alive, but completely powerless as the larva grows. Eventually, it fully develops, bursts out of the cockroach, and flies away, starting the cycle again. It stings the cockroach's brain, shutting down its ability. A needle is passed through the small structure at the back of your throat, creating a hole. Then a piece of jewelry is secured inside the hole to keep it open. But your uvula is always wet, and your mouth is full of germs, which makes it much easier for the piercing to get infected. It can become inflamed, causing it to swell, making it difficult to swallow. If the swelling worsens, it can obstruct your airway, and you might have to get your uvula removed. A needle is passed through the small structure at the back of your throat, creating a hole. Trying to see the bird's nest, he touched a live electrical wire. He was instantly thrown to the ground, and his face was severely burned. Even after he healed, his eyes were closed over, his nose was missing, and there were 2 bulges of skin where his mouth should have been. Too afraid to show himself in public, he stayed inside during the day. But as he grew older, he began to walk the highways at night. Neighbors who came across the faceless man were spooked, giving him the name Charlie No Face. Trying to see the bird's nest, he touched a live electrical wire. He was instantly thrown to the ground. If you collected your pee, boiled it, and filtered it several times, you'd be left with water. And you pee about half a gallon per day, which adds up to almost 200 gallons a year. For all 8 billion people on Earth, it would be enough pee to fill up the world's largest building. Now, pee is actually about 95% water, and if recycled for 1 year, it could provide 4 years' worth of water for New York City. If you collected your pee, boiled it, and filtered it several times, you'd be left with water. And you pee about half a gallon per day. The helicopter dropped a rope into the prison roof, wobbling as it hovered. You see, the pilot was married to a convicted bank robber, and she was desperate to have him back. She spent just 4 months learning the basics before taking to the skies alone. Meanwhile, her husband convinced the guards to let him exercise on the rooftop. And as soon as she appeared, he pulled out a fake gun and climbed aboard. The couple escaped, but after just 4 months, they were caught. And this time, they were both sent to prison. The helicopter dropped a rope into the prison roof, wobbling as it hovered. You see, the pilot was married to a convicted bank robber, and she was desperate to have him back. She